Welcome to Marathon Mondays with Mal. It is a rainy, sleety, almost snowy, whatever that means, Monday morning here at the mothership. And we just asked Steve if we could show the backside of 1432. He's working on it right now. And so big thanks to the crew that's getting this shell ready for to head down to the paint department. But come on over here. Let's look at a few things before we go to, we're gonna go inside this shell. I'm gonna talk about a few things on this shell, and we're gonna talk about 1432. But I got a couple of people that talked to me last week down in the desert about a few things on the shell, and I'm gonna go over that today. So we're gonna go through kind of this double slide H today and take a look at a few finer points inside. However, this kind of stood out to me this morning. This is a coach 1432. The owners of 1432 have had several marathons over the years, and so I'm really excited for them. So this is a coach that we're going to follow all through production, just like we've done on several coaches, including 1420, which is almost completed. Look at this bay. This is on the, we're on the curbside here. We're on the patio side, and this is the final bay. And you've seen this one outfitted with all kinds of infrastructure. And this is what it looks like when we get it from Prevost. The S-bar, the water heater, is not installed yet. And there's nothing here. And usually what a lot of experienced marathon owners like here is that 100-foot pressure washer reel here. But it's really nice to see it before, because it's kind of a large area on the the curb side of the engine compartment. We're going to zip this way. I was looking at the production schedule and everything that's coming up, and we have such a exciting year of coaches. A lot of really cool paint jobs, a lot of really cool customizations. And another thing, I look at this all the time on coaches that are coming up, coaches that are available, and coaches that are already sold that we're working on. And what's really neat is how much work and organization goes into this. It takes a lot of people to organize a production floor. And we're a custom house, but we're also a production facility. So we have to, B always comes after A, and C, for the most part, always comes after B. So it's a production schedule. Everybody always likes to see the bays before we put the infrastructure of the walls in here. But what I will show you is that we have the cutouts in here already. In here, you've got the wood in there. Very cool. But we're gonna go inside 1432 and take a look at a few things. Let's head on in. Come on into the cockpit, you guys. So I can't really sit down yet because the seat has been removed. Now, when this coach came from Prevost, it had the basic Prevost seat in here. And you've seen those before Marathon marathonizes them, but it's a black seat here. And we take all the seating out. There's, of course, not a co-pilot seat when we get it from Prevost, but when it drives all the way from Quebec City, it has a basic seat, and this is a basic cockpit. So I want you to take a look at kind of what it is. I'll kind of try to move out of here. Look at all of this blank, nothing here. What we do is we take the structure of the Prevost dashboard and we do our marathon thing to it. What is that? We pad it, we leather wrap it, we add 2 screens here, the Crestron system, which controls a lot of house controls, but also the infotainment, which is the Valid infotainment is fantastic, you guys. It's got everything from GPS to leveling to air conditioning, and you've got 2 screens that fit here. In the new H3, which I say new, but over the last 2 years, you've got a smart wheel, and it's smarter than the previous edition. And so there's a lot more controls that can happen on the smart wheel of the new cockpit. And as you can see, there is here and here on the center pillar and the driver's side pillar, you have the e-mirrors. Now these e-mirrors will come off we will do all of the infrastructure of the cockpit, and then we'll reinstall them in a better situation, basically designed for better driver visibility. So that's one thing that somebody asked me about down in the desert last week is, what does it look like prior to you guys doing it? And we really take that Prevost angle. We take what Prevost has already done and upgraded, and we just kind of make it more luxury. And I think that's a really, it's a really good footprint for the cockpit to have on the H3. This is a double slide, as you can see. I'm standing here in the slide out room here on the curbside, excuse me, the driver's side. This is gonna be a fantastic coach, but as you see above me, these are welded in by us right up here. This is all of these brackets. Do they look like brackets? Because that's exactly what they are. These are designed to hold the ceiling in and all the infrastructure of the ceiling, which for the most part is wiring and air conditioning ducts. Our air conditioning is superior because it's not a direct drop. We don't have a direct drop system. What does that mean? Direct drop means coming straight from the air conditioning. Most luxury converters have 4 air conditioners on the roof. We also have 4, but we diffuse the sound or the airflow coming through channels that are hidden in our ceilings. And what we do that by creating ducting that will diffuse the sound or the volume, not the flow, but the volume of those air conditioners so it's quieter. All right. Let's head on to the back. As you can see, this black spot down here has been labeled as where the bed is going to be, because they're going to bring in next the actual structure of the bed. They're going to weld that in to the slide room, which you can see is going to come off of these 3 pieces that have already been welded in to the slide out room. So here I am in the back of the coach. 1432. This is going to be a really beautiful custom coach, and I'm excited to follow it all the way through. And it's also really nice to see, pardon the really bright LED lights over here, but it's really nice to see what the slide out room looks like prior to us putting all of our infrastructure in here. And this is another thing that somebody asked me about down in the desert is, how complex are the slide out rooms? Well, I'll tell you what, you can actually see there's a lot to it, but it's actually pretty simple when it comes down to what it actually does. And I will say that this system is very well put together and done so that it's got a smooth in and out, and it's also something that you can count on. These tip out windows, another thing that we're going to be showing you in a couple of upcoming coaches is the slider windows. Slider windows are coming to coaches. This is a tip out window, which adds amazing airflow. Where Shane is standing, there's a window behind him on the curb side. On the driver's side where I'm standing, you've got the tip out window here, and you can just open and close it with a rocker button. Now what we do is we downsize it. This is the Prevost rocker button. And what we do is we shrink that rocker button or replace it with a much smaller rocker button and hide it within the window framing. And it's really a nice way of having that ability. Another thing people were asking me about, this was through an email, was this guy right here. How do you decide where the slide out room mechanism goes? Well, we're limited to some extent because you need to be watching the slide out room when it comes in and out. But this is what it looks like when we get it from Prevost. It is literally just a box with a wire that goes to the slide out mechanism and moves it in and out. And we basically install this. It's not the whole box that's exposed, but for the most part, the light and the rocker switch. And usually in a double slide, we install this in a spot where you can stand in the cockpit and observe the entire salon and make sure that everything is safe. You don't want anything affecting the slide out room coming in and out, whether it be clothes, kids, pets, anything like that. Even a blanket throw or a pillow, you don't want anything like that getting stuck in because it can damage and or affect the usage of that slide out room. But the neat thing is, for both the front and the rear, we have the ability to install that in different places, and I believe that guy will get installed over here by the driver, so the driver can stand here, look over the driver's seat and observe it. And back there in the bedroom, it's usually in a closet where you are pushing the button and observing that driver's side rear slide coming in. Let's head on outside real quick. Take a look at this. All of these drawings. Now this is just shell prep. This shell is headed to paint in about a week and a half, maybe a little bit less. So they're gonna do everything they need to do here for shell prep, and then it's gonna go down to paint for about 40 days, maybe a little less. But all of these drawings are specific to this one coach. Yes, we're a production facility and we build 1432, and after 32, after Magic Johnson comes Larry Bird, 33, right? Well, all of these drawings are specific to this one coach. And so that the team can reference what they need to reference. Hey, I'm working on, well, we saw it just inside. I'm working on putting the bed frame in on the bed. They can go to the drawing and say, okay, I need to make sure that this lines up and this lines up because we've got wiring that goes this way, or we've got walls that'll be here. So it has to be specific to this coach. And this is a testament to the organization of our production floor, is all of these drawings and that production schedule that I briefly showed you at the top of the show, and everything that we do to keep everything correct, because we want everything done right for these coaches. And that's why we regularly see 30-plus-year-old coaches on the road still. I mean, we see 40-year-old marathons on the road and being remodeled, maybe for the first time, maybe for the third time. 9:15 at the mothership. On the Pacific Standard Time, that means break time. But listen, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I wanted to show this shell, not only because we're gonna follow 1432 all the way through to the end, but I wanted to show you a few things about the shell that we haven't touched on lately. So big thanks to the Marathon team as they head for their morning break. Thanks for letting Marathon Mondays and the marketing team invade their space on the production floor. Be yourself and do good things. I'll see you in the desert. I'm headed down there this week, and I've got shows coming from you down there. It's gonna be fun. All right, take care, you guys.